For our viewers, this area here in Lebanon and why it's so significant. There are more and more skirmishes by the day. That's a fact, but it has not reached the level that many people perhaps thought to now. We'll explain that in a moment here. Okay, on the map here, this is Gaza down here in the southwest. This is the border with Lebanon. Hezbollah has an active presence there, backed by Iran. They have been there for years. But the last significant conflict that Israel had with Hezbollah in southern Lebanon was 17 years ago. And we're going to show you just how much has changed over that period of time. I'll advance the map one time and show you the border here. We talked about this yesterday. You see this like slightly oranger pitch of color? That's about 1.2 miles into Israel. That entire area, all those towns, villages, communities, they've been cleared out. All the Israeli civilians who live there have been moved further south. These are the skirmishes that we take note of, okay? And this is how the game has changed in the Middle East today. We talk about the rocket power from Gaza. That is true. They can reach Tel Aviv. They can reach Jerusalem. But Hezbollah has upwards of 100,000 rockets now here in southern Lebanon. Just look at the range on the map behind us. You're familiar now with Haifa, the port city that's helped evacuate a lot of Westerners this past week. Tel Aviv, here is Jerusalem. This is Gaza down here. And if you look at the range of rockets here, Tel Aviv and Jerusalem easily within the path of what Hezbollah could reach. Ashkelon down here with some of our correspondents, Sderot, that community of 30,000 that was hit on the morning of October 7th. Heck, you could reach Gaza. You could go deep into Sinai now based on the ability for Hezbollah in the north. And that perhaps is giving the IDF and Benjamin Netanyahu pause as to whether and when they go into Gaza. And with that, retired Major General Dana Pittard, author of Hunting the Caliphate, with us now. And sir, good morning to you. I want to read you something from the Jerusalem Post. They posit two possibilities right now as to why the invasion of Gaza has not happened. Here's how it reads. Why has the ground invasion been delayed since Friday? One factor, they write, has been a growing concern that Hezbollah is waiting for the moment that most IDF ground forces are committed to Gaza to open a full front with the IDF in the north. There is also a deepening recognition in the IDF and at the political level that the IDF has not done anything like this in decades, and that rushing in unprepared could be a large mistake. That's one possibility. The other possibility they talk about is a surprise attack on Hamas, because it has been so long since, maybe ever, that warfare like this has been conducted. Give us your best read, General, on where you think it is today.
Well, good morning, Bill and Sandra. There are several reasons why the IDF probably has not begun its attack, and you've named really two of them, two of those. One certainly is a concern about Hezbollah in the north, and that once the IDF does a ground invasion of Gaza, they're committed and not enough forces in the north. So that is certainly a concern. And then the idea that the IDF has not done a major ground invasion in many, many years is a cause for pause. They want to make sure that they are adequately prepared, that the reserves that have been called up are ready, and that they don't have what I would call a rush to failure, to attack just to attack. They want to make sure that their objectives are in fact met. And there's also concern about Israeli hostages. There's also concern about humanitarian issues as far as civilians in the Gaza area. So there's several reasons why there's probably a pause right now. And the last one that you mentioned, tactical surprise. Now, strategically, Hamas knows that the Israeli Defense Force is going to attack at some point. But it needs to be at the IDF's choosing their time and locations. So they want to at least achieve a tactical surprise.
General, the President Biden will be making his way there starting today. Why is it important for the U.S. President to visit and get on the ground there in Israel? What message do you hope that he sends?
Well, I think it's very important. It shows America's support of Israel, America's firm support of Israel. And President Biden will then move on to Jordan, where he'll talk to the senior leadership of Jordan, Egypt, and the Palestinian Authority about stabilizing the region and concern about Palestinian refugees in the area. But in addition to President Biden being in the area, one item that hasn't been really reported a whole lot is the fact that the CENTCOM commander is in Israel. General Eric Kurilla is there, and wherever he goes, a small command and control element goes with him, which means that if something were to occur, CENTCOM can respond very effectively.
Yeah. There is also a Marine Expeditionary Unit that guides the bottom end of the Persian Gulf that apparently is moving up the Red Sea and what could be situated off the southern coast of Israel. When you consider the strike carrier group and another one in that region within a matter of a week, I would say, what would that suggest to you in terms of American military strength and the expression that this administration is trying to give in that region now?
Well, what it shows is full support of what's happening in the region. And it's also in support of what both Secretary of State Blinken, who I know, and Secretary of Defense Austin, who I also know, backing up what they've said, which is to bad actors like Iran, Hezbollah, Syria, do not get involved. Do not get directly involved. Having two carrier strike groups in the Eastern Mediterranean, which is rare, with that kind of capability, as well as USS Bataan coming up with Marine amphibious units and other capabilities that Central Command has in the area, it brings options to the U.S. leadership in case there is an incursion by adversaries.
General, we really appreciate you joining us this morning. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.